Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Apophis here, back again with another upload on Apophis Tech and Reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, my holiday break from 2024 entering 2025 is over, and I'm back again with a weekly episode on Apophis Tech and Reviews. Next to me is a legend. This is the popular KAWAI K500 acoustic upright. This beautiful upright is popular and high in demand for many different reasons, and rightfully so. This is a semi-professional, mid-tier acoustic piano starting at about 10,000 euros up to 15,000 euros for the RS2 version. This is the EP entry-level, full acoustic, no digital module, no ATX4 compatibility, which you can digitally dampen the soundboard and of course listen and play it with headphones. And then of course you have the RS2, which basically is a digital piano module onto an acoustic piano module. So you still have the beautiful soundboard made from 100% spruce to play piano, but of course you can simulate other instruments as well. It always has a digital module right here, and you can actually change different types of instruments. Now, what makes the KAWAI K500 so special? First of all, it's bigger than most uprights. This is about standing 130 centimeters in height, which means the soundboard is also larger, which means the strings are larger. So the acoustic resonance of this piano is actually more close to a grand piano in comparison to other uprights available on the market. That's what makes this upright so special. Of course, it used the Millennium 3 ABS hammer system, which is a carbon composite that allows the strings to resonate more fairly and give you a warm tone. Now, the soundboard is made, like I said, from 100% spruce, which makes this piano sound more warm and natural in comparison to cheaper alternatives. Now, the starting price of the KAWAI K500 is about 10 grand, and for the RS2 version, the most expensive version of their KAWAI series, is about 15,000 euros. Now, this is by no means a small investment, but in comparison to what's out there on the market, for example, Boston, Stanway & Sons, Schimmel, Yamahas, they're pretty similar in price, so it's quite affordable in general when it comes to an instrument like this. Now, let me show you around this beautiful piano, and let me talk to you a bit more when talking in depth. Without further ado, let's get into today's review. Alright, so yes, as I mentioned before, this piano is about 130 centimeters in, well, high. And of course, as you can see, it's quite large in comparison to the footprint of the KAWAI K300, which is its entry-level alternative to this beautiful K500, fully finished in ebony black. You also have a white variant of this piano, and also a gray variant, I believe. This piano was bought at Manen in Brussels, and you can find this piano at about 10 grand, like I said. Very affordable, but you get a lot of, well, sound and resonance just like on a grand piano. Of course, we have 3 pedals right underneath the piano. Now, the middle pedal is not a sustainant panel. It is actually a dampening panel, which I will show you in a second when I open this beautiful baby up. Now, I will also showcase you the sound of this beautiful upright, because it is quite intriguing, especially for its size, and considering it's so compact, the sound is very good, very rich, and very mature. Now, of course, opening the panel of the K500, as you can see, this is a K500, otherwise it would say K300, K800, or K600. The K800 starts at about 15,000 all the way to 18,000. Then the K600, its bigger brother, of course, is about at around 13 to 15,000 for the entry-level EP version like this one. And then of course we have the K300, which starts at about 6,000 all the way to 8,000. And as you can see, this is a hand-built spruce soundboard with bigger strings. And now I will show you this beautiful K500 without its panel. Alright, and the back panel has been removed, and here it is. This is what you're paying for. You know, you can, well, simulate a similar experience within a, well, digital piano. It's cheaper, it costs about 800 to 1,000. You know, for people who want to play piano as a hobby but don't necessarily want to invest a large sum amount of money into a piano, that's of course totally fine, but of course you cannot compare the sound level of this type of pianos, no matter if it's a Kawai, a Yamaha, a Boston, a Stanway, a Shimo. It doesn't really matter. It really depends on your taste of music. It really depends on, in general, your hearing and what you like to hear from an instrument like this. So all brands are very, very good. It's just a personal preference, but this was as close to a grand in terms of sound and acoustic resonance that you can get. Very, very beautiful. Like I said, this has the Millennium Tree upright carbon edition, just like any K series of Kawai, and it makes the sound more rich and makes it more, well, how do I say it, warm in terms of sound staging. As you can see, beautiful soundboard. This takes about 2 hours to readjust every year. So every year you have to pay about 180 to 200 euros in order to get the best sound performance of your instrument. It's a fair price, actually. It's not that expensive though. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, why would you pay so much for that? Because a digital piano can do the same thing and you don't have to maintain it. A digital piano is not this. Just like a Rolex is not, you know, a Casio. There's nothing wrong with a Casio, right? There's nothing wrong with a Rolex or a mechanical watch. It's just personal preference. And what a beauty this piano is. Let me step a bit back and you can see this is a masterpiece. I don't know how to explain. Now, of course, we also have the cover up. It comes right here. Then you have the Kawai logo in gold. And then, of course, you have 78 pieces. Notes. Beautiful. Of course, just like any upright piano should be. Okay, so let me talk to you about another feature which is very interesting. This has a soft close mechanism, which means that you don't have to worry about smashing the piano's keys. It's just soft closing. Very, very intriguing. You can lock the piano with the key, of course, that you get with any K series in general. But yeah, very, very stunning. Now let me just go sit at the piano, play a couple things, and let me show you how it sounds, or how the sound compares to, of course, a digital piano. Let's get into it. Alright, so now we're gonna play the KAWAI K500, but of course with the dampening middle pedal put down. So as I said, this is not a sustained panel like on a grand piano, but this actually makes for a soft damper, right? So if I press this down on my feet, you will see that this bar is moving, and you have a softening play actually, which allows you to, play piano still in the early morning or in the evening when everyone's home and trying to relax. You can still play without overstimulating everyone's hearing, right? Now, of course, this is still fully open. I think it should be played like this, but of course, you cannot always do that. So let me showcase you this with, of course, that soft dampening technology. As you hear, this is very, very soft. It's maybe a bit mumbled, right? And on a digital piano, of course, it would sound a bit more, how do I say it, like it was when you don't use this panel, like this. But then softer, of course, because you can actually adjust the volume through keys and stuff like that. But it doesn't have that resonance. It doesn't have that. It's just something you cannot replicate with a digital instrument. Now, of course, like I said, if it's just a hobby, if you're just starting out, you're not gonna place a upright costing nearly 10 grand or more just for a cheap play, right? I totally understand, but for all those people out there who say that a digital piano can sound as good as an acoustic, it's not. In real life, you're sitting on something like this and you're playing on something like this, the feeling is just very, very different. And that's the reason why I do not like digital instruments these days and age. Now, of course, the music world is changing a lot, but in general, it's just better to stick with the classic ways of producing music than going digitally, because these days, with a lot of artists and producers, they use digital instruments and stuff like that, or not even play the instrument, or manually, how do I say it, mastering a track on their computer without even playing the instrument, and you can hear that, definitely. Of course, as a producer, if you want to master tracks and stuff like that for artists, and you don't have all these different types of instruments, it's nice to be able to do that on the computer, but of course it's not the same as playing the physical. So yeah, very, very intriguing piano. Very happy with this purchase, of course. So let's switch the camera again and let's talk a bit more about this piano. Alright, so before we wrap up this video, let's talk a bit about pros and cons and availability. Now, this piano is, of course, available worldwide. In the States, it's a bit more expensive than in Europe in general. I think in the States, this piano starts at about $16,000 in comparison to the 10 grand you are starting at here. So that's a, advantage or disadvantage. Now, of course, in the States, because of shipping and because of, the trade policies and stuff like that, of course, the States is going to be more expensive for you guys. So unfortunately, I'm sorry you don't get these beautiful instruments at that price, but still very, very, very intriguing. And as you heard on the demonstration, this actually sounds amazing. Now, of course, it's not as rich as a full-on grand or baby grand. That's a different type of acoustic performance because of the length instead of in the height, and but still very, very gorgeous instrument. Okay, let's talk about the pros. You get a very good sound staging. This piano sounds very, very different in terms of soundstage and in terms of resonance and acoustic performances and warmth than its smaller brother, the K300. You might have to visit a store to actually experience that, but if you sit on a K300 and a K500 like we did, and then of course the K800, but the K800 was a bit overkill. But yeah, you can definitely hear the differences because the soundboard is smaller and the overall width of the piano is smaller, so of course the sound will sound more staticky, more unnatural. So yeah, in terms of cons, it's quite an investment, of course. So like I said, 10 grand is not the most affordable option when it comes to acoustic pianos. Now, of course, there are cheaper alternatives, but like I said, for its price class and for the sound that you're getting, 10 grand is not a lot of money for this type of instrument. Trust me, this is one of the best uprights that is available on the market as of right now, and the reason being that it's also one of the most popular uprights at the moment, next to the Yamaha U3 and a couple Steinway and Bostons. When we're talking about Schimmel, of course, it's different. Of course, the prices are different. You're looking at about 60,000 and up, which is, you know, for professional piano players, still doable, but, you know, for everyday play, this is more than enough, of course. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my review of the K500. If you have any more questions about this piano, reach down into the comments below. And if you have an instrument like this, please share your experience with your piano / or acoustic instrument. I would love to hear your experience because I love music. I love learning new things. So if you play piano, if you play guitar, let me know down below which instrument I should try next. And I'll see you in the next Apophis Stego review video. Whoosh!